Happy Friday the 13th, everybody. This is Robin Graves, and I'm your host here on The World According to Graves. Let me get a couple of things out of the way. Uh, Allergies are acting up, a little sippage. Don't have Diet Right. Yes, I have Diet Right. Yes. Not that spit-flavored ginger crap from last week. God, that stuff was murder. Jeez, let me get a little sippage here. Okay, people, my voice is going in and out, and so please bear with me on today. Get this light going really good. Mike, I'm always showing you movies I like, and movies I was really happy to have. I'm almost embarrassed to show this one. Yes, Dead and Breakfast. Don't bother. It's crap. Don't bother. I bought this movie for some reason back in 2004. It's 2004. Watched it once when I got it. Shelved it for the past 16 years. It's garbage. Okay, guys, I'm starting a new thing called Unscripted. Just started it last week. This is kind of a mishmash of the standard and the unscripted. I want to apologize for being so late this week. I've had a lot of things happening here. Wednesday, I couldn't even be on online Wednesday. I was too busy. I had a hearing for disability. It looks good. Thursday, yesterday, was kind of crazy. I'm wanting to get this out this morning, before it gets bad. Right now, here in Atlanta, last night I was informed by an old friend of mine, lives over on the West Coast. She had informed me that, it's being told on news agencies in other states farther west, that here in Atlanta that we're pretty much under quarantine. Not really. We're not under quarantine here. It is getting nuts. Coronavirus is hitting us pretty hard. The whole psychological thing behind it, the scare. We have relatively few people infected, but the way this has been happening is a little scary. I've seen horror movies that start this way. In fact, I think I'm living through a horror movie right now. Last Friday, this is one of the problems we're having. Last Friday, a teacher at a South Fulton County, South Atlanta school had coronavirus full blown. Still showed up for several days at her job as a teacher, exposing children. Friday, she passed out in class, went unconscious. They had to call an ambulance. She was carried out and went to the hospital in an ambulance. This is the stupidity that's happening. In just south of me, where I live, just a few miles south, there was a gentleman who was diagnosed, and he decided to self-isolate. He didn't want to go to the hospital. He wanted to self-isolate. So what does he do? While self-isolating, he went to a local Kroger. He went to Walmart. He went to a filling station, exposing people. At one point, he took his 15-year-old daughter, drove her, exposing her to coronavirus, to a high school dance. This is what happened last week. The stupidity that people have. His excuse, when he was actually called up on this, and he was reported on, his thing that he said was, "Well, I was alone in my car on the way home. Doesn't that count?" Idiots. All of them. There's all these, right now we've got stores right now here in the Atlanta area. Lysol, a can of Lysol for $11. There is so much going on, so many people buying so much bread, milk, and toilet paper, a four roll of toilet paper right now at a Publix, I believe is a Publix, which is a grocery chain here in the South, was $10 for a 4-pack of toilet paper, because people are buying it off the shelves. I went to Kroger last night. I had some business I had to do. My wife and I had to do. We went to Kroger. My hair looks dreadful. Sorry, folks. I've been up almost 2 days. Uh, there were people there buying shopping baskets full of toilet paper, milk, and bread. I passed this one woman whose shopping cart was overflowing with toilet paper and asked her, "Got the shits?" Yeah, it's the psychology behind what's happening is almost, I don't want to say it's stupid, I don't want to say it's frightening. I've got to invent a new word for this. But the whole thing is, I want to get down to a point here. Due to the coronavirus outbreak, and this is, those of you who live in other parts of the country than I do, you're probably going to be facing the same problems soon. Right now, every school in North Georgia is closed either for 2 weeks or indefinitely. They are urging the students to stay home and do online classes. They have that set up as part of the emergency plan that schools here have. UGA is closed to students till further notice. Where the sporting events, the Big Eight, or whatever you call it, basketball thing, NCAA conference, whatever it is, I don't keep up with sports. It's canceled. The whole thing is canceled. The spring training has been cut short for baseball, and they're probably not going to be having baseball games anymore for a while. NASCAR here in the South, which is our life's blood here when it comes to sports, well, that and high school football, is either canceling races, or doing races with no audience whatsoever. There we go. I know there's a lot of you out there that are talking about we're overreacting. I don't think so. I think we're taking the necessary actions. It's just the psychology these people have out here, the public has, is getting weird. I want to explain a few things to you. A lot of people don't agree with me with my views on this until I sit down and explain things. Mongolia, Russia, Singapore, they've had no coronavirus patients. None. Well, excuse me. Russia had 3 because they're coming back. They come back from Italy to Russia. Singapore had none. Mongolia had none. I'll tell you why. They closed their borders. They closed the country. They closed it down to anybody coming in or out. I think America needs to do that too. The World Health Organization is saying this is a global pandemic. It's official. It's a global pandemic. I've got to get this taken care of over here before I can read any of it. They're saying that they've officially said it's a global pandemic. And they're saying it is beyond containment. Which is pretty true. It's definitely true. Right now, Europe, excuse me, I have allergy problems. I don't have coronavirus. I coughed in a court Wednesday in the waiting room waiting for my hearing, and a security guard grabbed her gun. Yes, it's getting stupid. The reason it's breaking out in Europe so bad is due to open borders. Angela Merkel, Lady Hitler herself, is estimating 70% of Germany will have coronavirus. That's a lot. That is a major amount. Now, let's be realistic here. In China, with everybody who had it, who was diagnosed with it, that we do know of, that China has let us know of, the population that caught it was only 0.005%. Now, they have 1.5 billion, I believe I got the number right, people in that country. We have less than 400 million in this country. Italy, it broke out there. The whole country had to close down. Literally, it is closed for business till further notice. Now, the state of Texas here in the U.S. has more population than the entire country of Italy. It has more population than the entire country of Canada. We're not hearing anything from Canada at the moment. Canada kind of did it right. They're not letting anybody in. without being screened. While Heathrow Airport in London, England, they're letting everything come through, no screening whatsoever. None. I feel sorry for my second home. I really do. I believe Britain's going to be overtaken with this before it's over. Now, President Trump is being blamed for all of this, for the coronavirus. How he's not reacting right. He's not doing this. He's not doing that. What would you do? Please tell me. You're out there complaining. You're the fucking experts. Tell me how you would handle this feasibly, logically, not common sense. I want logic. Give me some logic. You guys have any? Raise your hand if you have any. I don't see any hands. Good. Shut the fuck up. What I'm going to tell you right now is that we are handling it the best we can. This is what happens in the global economy. We're handling it the best we can. Our stock market is tanking. Businesses are going under. People are now losing jobs because of this. We haven't been affected really all that long. We started being affected when China was. Stocks started dropping due to Chinese-tied companies and Chinese companies both being hit really hard. So it hit the global stock market. It hit the global economy. This is a product of globalism. Okay, now you guys want to talk about how we need globalism? Well, welcome to it. We're pretty globalist as it is, business wise. This is what happens. Nothing's protected. Nothing's compartmentalized. We we go down the tubes like everybody else does. So I hope that answers a question that was asked me by a viewer. I'm not mentioning their names. They are really good people, but they're pretty naive. I believe the best way to do this is to take care of this is to close our borders completely till this is over with. People are saying, well, that's going to hurt the economy. Our economy's tanking as it is now because of this. It's not Trump's fault. The stock market is volatile at the best of times. This was just a spark to set it off. You want to say Trump's, not taking care of this? He's been here in Atlanta, the CDC, several times, working with things. He got a hold of the heads of the major insurance companies, the parent companies of insurance companies, set them down at a table and said, "You're not making money off this. You're going to treat people with coronavirus. You will not be making them pay copays. The drugs will not be charged to the patient." Excuse me, I'm losing myself here. This whole thing makes me a little upset. And my voice is still going. Excuse me. 1 second, little sippage here. What he said was, you're not making money off this. Coronavirus patients will be treated. There will be no copays, copays for their drugs. You will cover the cost 100%. No surprise costs whatsoever. Testing will be free. You will cover that. Do you people understand? They all said yes, they did. And it's being done. Now, those of you out there who don't have medical coverage, there is a system here. I know they have it here in Atlanta now, in the state of Georgia. It was instituted. Testing is free. Go get yourself tested. This is an emergency situation. Now, speaking of emergency situations, the other night when President Trump was speaking and everything, he did mention something 3 times, the Stafford Act. Now, people out here are talking about, well, the Stafford Act, that's martial law. You're going to have the military in the streets. No, you're not. Let me read something to you. Excuse me, I've got it on the other computer here. Believe me, I'm going to try to get it where I can put it on this one too. I just don't have the programming for it yet. The Robert T. Stafford Disaster Relief and Emergency Assistance Act, Stafford Act, is a United States federal law designed to bring an orderly and systemic means of federal natural disaster assistance for state and local governments in carrying out their responsibilities to aid citizens. Congress's intention was to encourage states and localities to develop comprehensive disaster preparedness plans, prepare for better intergovernmental coordination in the face of a disaster, encourage the use of insurance coverage, and provide federal assistance programs for losses due to disaster. Small businesses right now are being afforded loans at extremely low interest rates to keep themselves floating. We were recovering from, oh my God, almost a decade of stagnation and businesses going under, nobody creating new businesses. And then 3 years, 4 years ago, 3 years, whatever it was, in 2016, Trump was elected. Our economy shot up. People are saying, well, that was only the stock market. That was only the stock market. You must be part of the stock market. You probably have stocks and businesses. You didn't pay attention to the world around you. New businesses started. Businesses that were going under flourished. Right here in just my area here, West Atlanta, new neighborhoods are being built. People are actually being able to buy homes again. Yeah, he's only for the rich. How come you poor people now have a way to see a doctor for the coronavirus? But he's not doing it for everything else. No, because it's not life-threatening now, is it? The media right now is not helping out whatsoever. The media right now, no matter what happens, they're going against it. They're contrary to it. Trump is doing everything he can within his power to stop this corona, to at least try to contain it here, to draw a line and stop it. People are not cooperating. People are being stupid. And the media is saying he's not doing enough. If Trump did nothing, they'd be bitching. He's not doing anything. If he did everything, he's not doing enough. Anything to get ratings. Right now, we've got every news agency, every channel on TV that has news, every radio station is creating a panic, running their mouths off about how we're all going to die. How this many people, 100,000 people have it. Yeah, 100,000 people. I want you to look at something. 100,000 people out of 350 million. What percentage is that? More people die from traffic accidents daily. Nobody cares. More people die, 127, if I remember right, people die daily from opioid addiction. Does anybody say anything about that? People go to the hospitals, get misdiagnosed, and die from that. Hundreds daily. Does anybody say anything about that? No. But because the news is looking for ratings, everybody's buying into it and panicking. I'm not saying this is not a bad virus. I'm not saying this virus is not bad. It's horrible. It's even a mild case of a coronavirus is worse than a bad case of the flu. Right now, if this breaks out the way the news is talking about, we don't have enough beds in hospitals to help people. Right now, with every hospital in the country, it will only help. The amount of beds they have will only help 2% of the population. 2%. Pharmaceutical companies don't have there's no cure for this. They started back in January working on an antivirus for this. It's going to take no less than a year and a half for this to be developed, and then another 6 months for it to be distributed. We're on our own in this. We're floating in a sea of chaos, and a lot of it is our own making. I've been told colloidal silver will end it completely. There's no scientific proof. The only scientific proof about colloidal silver that is a certainty is if you take enough, you turn blue. I'm pissing some people off by saying that, but hey, I'm telling you the truth. Believe me, I spent 2 days researching this at night. That's why I haven't slept yet. I guess I'm going to go into the ending here because I've got some things I need to do, and I wanted to get one of these out today. We're watching history. This is history right now. The Spanish flu happened early 1900s. Now we have this. A lot of people died from the Spanish flu. And not a lot of people are dying from this. I'm going to tell you why. We have better medical care. We've advanced ourselves farther in medicine. We're talking. They're talking about all these people that died in other countries. I want you to look at the level of their medical care before you started panicking here in America. They've said originally the R naught factor, the RO factor. I mean, that's the frequency of contamination. How many people one person who has it can infect. They were saying it was 4. They got that by dividing the amount of people who are in the population by the amount of people who have it, who caught it in a certain amount of time. I'm not exactly for sure the exact formula how they figure this, but that's pretty much basically how it's done. Same thing as the mortality rate. They were saying it was a 4. It's more of a 3, honestly, right now. They're saying the mortality rate was 1%, then it went to 2%. Then they're saying 8%, now it's down to just under 2%. There is so much being said that information is being garbled. You can't trust everything you hear about this. You have to do your own research. I've heard different news agencies saying different things. I don't really think they know what they're talking about, really, because details are all different. Their numbers are all different. The World Health Organization, they put a stop to Ebola. They controlled SARS. They're not controlling this. They spent more time trying to figure out a way to say this, describe this, than, without hurting people's feelings, than trying to contain this. Right now, it's just now starting to get to the point where they're trying to contain this and keep it away from everyone. They were actually trying to tell everybody, we have a new name for it, so if you have it, we have this name so you don't feel bad, your feelings don't get hurt because you have it. Don't worry about feelings, people. Worry about taking care of the people, taking care of the infected. So, anyway, guys, I'm tired. My allergies are kicking me in the ass. I have a lot I still got to do today. It's been a very weird week for me. I wish I could have got this done sooner with a lot more preparation. If I sat here and took notes and wrote everything down, I wouldn't be able to get this out till this evening. And this evening, there's too much happening. I'm going to tell you right now, like I told a friend of mine, a police officer I know, he was scared to death because he works with the public. I'm looking at this as entertainment. This is a horror story you get to live instead of watch. I know it's a bit morbid. You may not agree with me on my view of this, but it's either I view it in a comical way like that, or I go crazy. And I'm really worried. I'm very worried because my wife and I, we can't afford to get this. I am prime candidate to get this and be hospitalized for at least 2 weeks. Once you're hospitalized, you have to get 2 negative results before they even think about sending you home. I have diabetes. I have heart problems. So I'm a candidate to be hospitalized. I may not even make it. I may not, if I go to the hospital with this, I may not even come home. So, yeah, I have to look at this in a certain way, or I'm in a corner with a can of Lysol and a gun keeping people away from me. But anyway, guys, this has been The World According to Graves. This is the Friday the 13th edition. It's really funny that a story like this happens on Friday the 13th. Kind of poetic. But this has been WATG, The World According to Graves. You guys take care of each other, and remember, talk hard. See you next time.